Happy weekend. Happy holiday weekend to you. Hope you're having a great weekend wherever you might be. If you're in the States, hope you're having a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Cheers. Oh, wow. Watching, it's funny watching these playoffs. Some of these games, the Celtics aren't going to beat the Nets, but you also knew they weren't going to sweep them, right? So they should be 3-1 after today, and so they'll probably get the gentleman's sweep. Is that what they call it? The 5-game victory. But no one really thought, right? Did anyone think the Celtics had a chance? I think the biggest shock would be Dallas if they beat the Clippers. Of all the series, would be the biggest shock. Or if the Suns were to beat the Lakers, which I still don't think will happen. I think, it's nice it's 2-2, but I don't think it's going to happen. Everything else I think is pretty much going to be scratch, in my opinion, until we get to the second level of the playoffs. We'll see, but we will see. Thanks for joining tonight. It's open mic night at Sports Cards Daily Live. It is the holiday weekend. I'll be honest, I didn't invite anybody. I got a lot to talk about tonight. I'm going to spend a few minutes watching the end of this game. Well, not really the end. Watch the game for a few more minutes, and then I'll get into a little bit of talking. I'm going to piss a lot of people off, though, with my video today. The Nets should win, yes. The next series will be interesting, right? The Nets will play against the winner of the Hawks and Knicks, I think, correct? And then, the Giannis going up against the 76ers will be an interesting playoff to me. I still don't think either of those guys coming out of that series are going to beat the Nets, but it'll be interesting. I think the Nets are going to crush the Knicks or the Hawks winner. I think it's going to go maybe 5 or 6 games, maybe 6, and there'll be a lot of hype about it, but I don't think it's going to go very many. I don't expect a 7-game series in that round, I'll put it that way. I don't see the Nets facing a 7-game series until maybe the finals of the East. And that could be injury due, As you guys have been following, the Nets have been perfect from the line tonight. It's been crazy. It's not even a close game. It's not even fun to watch. This doesn't help the hobby when there's nobody watching this. But what's up, Connor? Thanks for joining, guys. Thanks for joining. I'm going to spend a few more moments just chit-chatting, and then I'm going to start my little investigation. I'll share with you. I posted a video earlier today about repacks. I can't stand repacks. I've invited people, by the way, in the repack community to join tonight into the open mic night. If they'd like to join, inviting them to come online and chit-chat with me. So I'll open the mic up here in a little bit. Just give me a few minutes. I do want to share somebody that I found just absolutely amazing. So I'm going to mute this here. So I'm paying more attention. Let's go ahead. Let me see. I forget how we do this. We're going to share screen, and we're going to show that thing right here first, I think, right? Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Okay, so hang in there, guys. Hang in there with me. Thanks for being there, CVC. Man, thank you, man. Enjoyed watching you last night. I believe it was you last night, right? With Extreme Breaker, correct? I hope. Oh, I should be doing this. Boom. Yeah, Nets should win. Yes, they should. Yes, they should. A boom. Hey, Ziggy. What's up, Connor? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. And then, boom. What's up, Ziggy? What's up? Good to see you. Okay, so let me share with you. I'm going to go into the screen. I think I'll do this. Sorry. And then I'll pop over here. I was talking about this today in my video, and I want to share this with you, and I want your thoughts on this. I'm looking at this website, and this website to me, as a hobbyist and as a fan of everything I love about this hobby, this site makes me so angry and so sick at the same time, and there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. Except for tell you it sucks. But look at this garbage. I just want to bring to your attention, okay? I'm on this Card Investments guy site, and he's got this Fire Chaser, right? 3 Chaser cards. He's not even giving you a full checklist, okay? He's not even telling you what the other 27 poop cards are going to be, right? He's just telling you what? What does he tell you? Does he even tell you what they are? I think he tells you they're not all cards or PSA 9s and 10s. Well, boy, isn't that really nice of you? And all the cards are from the rookie year. Well, great, man. I got a whole bunch of worthless freaking PSA 9 rookies. I mean, this is just awful, dude. Absolutely criminally awful. And here's what I want to bring your attention to. here are the two things that really catch my attention, please. Here are the three chase cards. This is a select Zion Williamson concourse level base. Did you hear what I said? That's a base card. Here's a mosaic football Justin Herbert base. And here's a Topps Chrome. You got it, buddy. You got it. Base rookie PSA 10. Now, just run some basic math here, guys, for me. This is $125, and there's 30 of these being sold, right? Well, I'm going to share with you. Can you see this? I don't know if you'll see when I pull the calculator up. Well, it takes no genius to know this. It's over $3,000. It's over $3,000, dude. He's collecting to chase these three cards. Well, let's see how valuable these three cards are. I hope you guys are still able to see this, right? Check this out. Look at this. This is Market Movers. As of today, just ran this data today. Here's Market Movers. And why I like Market Movers is it gives me an average as well. So I can see the starting average, the high, the low. Look, even at the high, which I think this guy Bull talks about and says, it's a $500, $600 chase card. Even at the high, if $1,500 of value is tied up in that 30, what is it? 37.50. Okay, even if $1,500 of it, you're telling me $2,000 of value is distributed in the other 27 hits? No. Do you see what I'm saying? This is designed to scam you, right? Here's the ending averages right now: 202, 261, and 193. And this one's up, by the way, $15. That's the Acuna. How is this not illegal? And dude, this just gives, if you're in sports cards, because one or two things are going to happen, guys. If you're in sports cards and you see this, you're going to go, I can do this. And I'll do it better. I'll do it fair, Ziggy. I'll make sure it's more fair. Dude, if you're doing this, you're a criminal in my mind. You're a scammer, and you're sick to the hobby. There should be. Okay, let me go back and check out my chat. See what people are saying. Let's talk. Let's talk. Oh, man, House of Cards is here, man. Okay, I'm going to drop the chat thing in here and see if I can get some people in here to join me and chit-chat about this. Or we'll talk about other topics. We don't have to talk just about this. Okay, so the way the StreamYard thing works is if you want to join, click on that little button. I'll bring you into like the backdoor room. You can get your camera ready, test your mic, set your username, and then I'll move you into the camera thing, dude, and we'll talk tonight. So let me just go up here and catch up with the comments. Let's see this one. I bought a repack from Card Investments for $200 and got a Bochette. I'm sorry, dude. I'm very sorry. And Connor, let me just say this. If you had gotten over the $200, that's still not a good story. You know what I'm saying? That's what's sad, man. I don't want anyone to do repacks. How do I explain this? I don't know how to explain. Like, I don't know why people don't. Like, I will say I got some feedback today from a guy who I hope will join tonight. His name is, I think, Kid. And his comment was, why are you so concerned about what's going on and telling people to go, blah, 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 blah. And I'll put it this way. The way I look at this, dude, guys, if I was walking down the street and I saw somebody robbing somebody, I would do something. What I would do, I don't know. Maybe I'd call the police. If I had my gun on me, maybe I'd pull it out. But I would do something. I would at least take down some freaking notes, who it is, what they look like. I would do something. That's the type of person I am. If I see a wrong being done, I'm going to say something. I can't be quiet. I'm sorry. Is that wrong? Like, do I step a bound? Yeah, I think I do. And I also say this. I think as a sports card influencer, which is what people are who have channels, who talk to people on these freaking channels, if we're going to do that, then we have to own up to, hey, sometimes you have to say what's good and sometimes you say what's bad. Okay? I believe that. I'm sad. It makes me sad to hear this story. Next one. What's up, Ziggy? House of Cards. Man, good to hear from you. Love your channel. Dude, if you want to join, I'd love to have you join tonight. I don't want to put you on the spot. I want to do a collaboration with you. I want to talk about House of Cards. Love his channel. Would love to hear more about you. Who else we got next? Good evening, Ziggy. Yuma, Arizona in the house, man. That's a beautiful area. I don't think I've been to Yuma, but I like Arizona. Where have I been in Arizona? I've been to Flagstaff, been to Tombstone, been to Tempe, obviously Phoenix. I like Arizona. It's actually a pretty good place, man. I have great stories. I'm going to keep that quiet, though. Those are classified. Razor Buck, good to see you, man. I miss our Target days, man. I miss hanging out with my Target friends. I'd say people want to complain about, the people at Target. You get to meet some wonderful people who share the same passions and love for cards that you do. I would say that I would probably, I would say everybody, but most people I met were really in it for the hobby. Really in it for the hobby. I also brought a 6-7 package and gave me. Yep. Yep. Dude, I'll just say the problem is there's not a lot of options. So we look at these repacks, and here's what's going to happen, guys. With the way the economy is today, you're going to see more people doing repacks than ever before, right? Because it's an easy way to dump product. And it's easy way to, like in that video, like I just showed you in that page, I show you, oh man, it's a Zion, it's a PSA 10. It was worth 800 or 600, but whatever. So we got to be very cautious. Friends don't let friends do repacks is what I always say, man. So Connor, you stick with me. I will remind you not to do repacks. Repacks are trash can. Exactly. And again, the thing is we know that a lot of people, and dude, there's a dark history here in repacks, okay? Repacks aren't brand new, okay? And repacks will be around for a long time. I posted in my link on my video a story to the Heroes of Wax. And what really bothered me about that story is how deep the deception was and how easy it is, right? And there were some other repacks, and I don't want to talk about that. I know there's one I did at the National many years ago that was very popular, had a big name behind it. It was like, oh, repacks are great. There are some. I have a friend of mine, and I do call him a friend in the sports car hobby, that does a repack, and I like him. I hate his repack. But the problem is any repack is a bad repack. It's like this. If how do I give a good example? I can't give a good example, but it's like if you're making moonshine, you're like, my moonshine's the best moonshine, it's really good moonshine, but other people are making bad moonshine, you're still a bad example. Why don't we just all go to the store and buy it from the store? Right? It's just the kind of way I feel. We'll talk about that in a second. And what proof is there that anybody gets those cards? Well, that's another question. I mean, actually, I don't think they're worried about getting the cards. I really think when you sell a repack, you are so excited to get that stuff out the door. And when you watch these guys open them, they sit there and they justify like, oh, that's a good card. Oh, that's a fire card. No, it's not. No, it's not. When you get like an insert from Illusions, it's a Herbert, like, oh, this firebox had a Herbert in it. No, it didn't, dude. It had a really bad Herbert in it, really, really bad one, a raw one, and you wasted some money on it. I mean, it's terrible. And the people who are in the repacks are the thing I love about these repack people, they love to repack with each other, right? You'll see that all the time. I got in a little bit of a tiff with some repackers last year, and there's 3 of them, and I still follow their channels a little bit. One was a father-son that I really like the channel. I love it when they're opening and stuff. I can't stand the repacks, but you can notice that they're all promoting each other's repack, which again I think is horrible, right? Like I was pointing out today, collect for on my budget or whatever. He's repacking with another guy, and they're repacking together. It's like it's all conspiracy, man. It's got to be. How is that not wrong? Next comment we'll take a look at. There's the StreamYard post right there. If you'd like to join the show, come on and talk tonight. Love to have you. I got more topics to talk about. Not just going to spend the whole night complaining about repacks, okay? But I did want to make my repack argument. And if someone wants to join me from repacks, please. Yep, from Extreme. Dude, I have to say there, CVC. I had some stuff going on. My weekends are crazy. I'll put it that way. But I was watching you guys for like most of the full first hour. I love that show. I really dig the dude who does Extremes. Really liked your guys' insight. Definitely look forward to maybe doing a collab or chatting with you guys. Again, CVC, you're welcome to join tonight if you want to jump on, join the open mic night with us. I'm not going to keep this going too late if we don't get people. We got 16, but I like to talk, and I'm drinking, man. Don't worry, I won't drink too much. And I'll say, real quickly, let me pause right there. We're almost caught up on let me just see. Let me catch up on this target days too, buddy. I do too, man. Don't worry, it'll come back. It'll come back. Don't forget, it will come back. Don't waste the money on repacks. Just save money by card. Exactly. Save the money by cards you want. There's other things you can do with your money. Man, and don't do it to support a guy's channel. They'll go, well, I'm doing it because to support his channel. If you want to support his channel, click his affiliate link. In fact, if you want to support his channel, send him money directly and say, look, friend, I'm going to send you $10. Don't make repacks. I think that's a good statement. In fact, I've told these guys, how much money would it take that I have to raise for you to stop you from ever making a repack again? Because think, is it really worth your time, hassle, and energy making these packs and picking out the cards? I mean, it's a human-driven thing. Okay, let me jump into this. I want to share another cool little warning tonight. I'm sorry to say that this is a scam, but definitely something that caught my mind. We'll jump here, and then I'm going to jump over to, is it here? No, there. No. Here. here. There it is. Boom. Check this out. And you can see I got a lot to talk about. It's popping all around with my windows. Okay, this is Extreme Card Breaks. More fake Topps autos surface. Groot, you got to keep it quiet, buddy. Groot, come here. Sandy, you're such a good little girl. You on camera? Can they see you? I don't think they can see you now. We'll put you on camera in a minute. Okay, this is an interesting story, guys. And I'm really glad Extreme broke this and put this on. He caught this, in video. Short story: a fake autograph of Peyton Manning ends up on Golden Auction. It's removed, and Extreme goes in explaining how it's fake and all this stuff. But my point is, there is such a rush to gold and money and greed in this hobby that people will cut corners and steal and rob and cheat. It's sad. Last year, one thing that I said in one of my first videos, and my biggest fear was, I've been in the hobby for years, and I love the hobby. Okay, it's a fun place, but I also know it's an unregulated, weird world, right? And I want to say there's a dark side. Everybody knows there's a dark side to the hobby. Okay, let me get out of this window again, so I'll go back to my. You guys saw the golden thing. I'll talk more about this. Maybe drop it, but Extreme Card Breaks does a video on it. Check this out. Talks about, and Golden did take this down. They took it down, but how did they get it up there, Golden? How did you get that up there? I mean, come on, guys. Where'd my window go? There I am. Okay, so there is just, again, I love the hobby, but there's a dark side of it, man. And last year, everybody was telling you to just run to the mountains. There's gold in the sports card mountains. And no one warned you of all the rattlesnakes and the coyotes and the things that will eat you on the way to climbing the mountain of sports cards. And now, when a lot of people are weak, or they're tired, or they're not paying attention, or they just want out, look, these guys are going to prey on you like there's no tomorrow. And what's worse is it's going to make the hobby worse for everybody, right? Because people are going to walk away with a bad taste in their mouth about, hey, I got scammed on an autograph that I thought was a Peyton Manning. I got scammed in a repack product because I bought this and I got that. It's not good for anybody. How is that good? Dude, if you want to be good, if you really care about this hobby, guys, we gotta. I think we should have unified voice. We should use our voice more as consumers, right? We should be better buyers of certain things, but that'll take time. We'll get there. But at the minimum, we really have to call out the scams. One of the things I love about Facebook groups is Facebook groups. What's up, Troy? Troy's in the house, man. Thanks for joining. One of the things I love about Facebook groups is they have a very strong community about, what's it called? Stamping out scammers and doing detective work. If a user changes his name or, does something, like they'll track. In fact, another great example is Blowout Forum. Blowout Forum broke the story there on the Golden Auction, mislabeled or misrepresented autograph. There's some freaking detectives in the hobby, dude. I mean, I'm just reporting some news, but there are detectives in the hobby that will look at everything and they'll come at it from every different angle. So they'll expose things like these fake autographs. They'll expose things like these fake groups, like scammers. And that's why I was to say, when I go back to Facebook, there's a community that will vet people out. You can get vouchers. Like one of the things I love the vouch groups that I'm in. The best place, in my opinion, that you can buy and sell sports cards today are in Facebook vouch groups, okay, where you've been vouched in, where people know you, who would back you up. Those are the best places. Now, those aren't open to everybody, and you can't get there tomorrow. It takes time to get into that. You have to build a reputation in the hobby. But they would laugh at these repack stuff. I'll put it that way. So I worry. Oh, I just worry, man. I really want everybody to enjoy the hobby. And there's so much fun going on. And I'll tell you, last year when I saw everything going on, I was like, look, let me just get in the water and play lifeguard. Let me just help people swim as we navigate this hobby we're in. Okay, next comment here is CBC just tried one, never again. Ziggy gets Thor's P on here. He loved the video saying where he's anxiety stage of the stage. Panic. Yeah, I'd love to have him on. I know a lot of people, man, it is a holiday weekend and people have family and they're probably barbecuing or they're watching the game. So I'm not surprised that there aren't people out there. And again, I'll drop the little chat thingy here. Anybody who wants to join open mic night, you're welcome to join. Love to have you on. What were some other things I want to talk about? Oh. Here's something I want to talk about. Kind of on a similar string to make a correlation. Before I jump into there, let me make sure there's nothing else I wanted to bring to your attention first. Oh, yes. Let me bring this one up first. Okay, let me go back here. Where am I? Lost again. Hang in there, guys. While I'm waiting for people to join, and I appreciate the few of you that are here tonight. Thank you very much for your support. Sharing screen. And again, I don't like to take things too long, so we might make this a short night, but boom, 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 boom. Yes, here we go. I'm going to turn this on.
Sports cards, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Marvel, Dragon Ball, Naruto, Flesh Blood, and now NFTs. All of these markets have experienced massive price hikes with record amounts of money.
Okay, I'm going to stop right here. So first two things I know. You can't hear this because the volume's too fast. I don't want you to watch this. I want you to check it out later on. It's from a guy named Swami. I also would recommend you subscribe to his channel. He's got some great insight. Here's the interesting thing. This dude's a Pokemon guy. Pokemon channel. Really good channel. But this sketch he does, this 8 minutes might be the best 8 minutes I've watched in a while on YouTube, man. It's pretty damn good. I love the whiteboard doodle thing he used. I would love to use this. I mean, that would require some time and some production and things. Jesus Christ, man. Am I cut off? I know. That was not staged. That was me spilling my drink all over my lap. I still have some left. Okay. Anyway, really like this. I will drop this below in the link, or I'll make a note of this later on, but you really should check this out because he talks about everything. Okay, if I fast forward here. Can I fast forward? Well, let me do that. No, it's going to commercial me, right?
Web3
of course it's going to commercial me.
Of the internet and refers to the
It's okay.
web.
Decentralized web. Tell me all about it. Oh, great. Quiet. Look, he talks about everything from the CARES Act. He talks about stimulus money. He breaks this down. Just one of the best videos I've seen. I will say, if you didn't watch already tonight, Sports Card Investigator did a very, very good video on kind of the changes in the hobby and the market. In fact, one thing he makes a comment is no more grading base. I'm with you, man. I'm not grading base, right? Which I'll take you back here, right? If you act now real quickly, you can still get one of these chances to win a base card. Oh, my God. Please don't buy any of this crap from if you're watching my show. Look at this. What other products are here? A basketball one. Fun packs, 10 rookies, 1 auto, 1 relic. I can only imagine how bad these are. Oh, my goodness. He's got second-year cards and a BGS 9. A BGS 9 of a second year. Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry. Don't even look at this. Okay, let me close out real quickly. Not close out, but let me talk about the next thing that I thought was pretty interesting to me. And that was the Dr. Beckett had a great dinner at the Dallas show with about 25 different content creators. Okay. This is on Eric Norton's Twitter. He is Beckett Live, I think it is. Eric's right here, right there in the front. I know probably at least half these people, maybe 60, 75% of them, maybe. I don't know. I know a lot of them. Maybe I know them as I follow them and have interacted with them through an exchange of text message or something like that. And again, I thought this was I really wish I could have been there. And I'm curious to hear more from this. So what I want to bring your attention to is that if you go over to Dr. Beckett's podcast, he's been releasing content from the convention, content convention intros, content convention inspirations, content convention transparency. Thought this is really cool. I want to listen to more. I think more and more is coming. These are only 3 pieces. Again, wish I was there, but I like the fact, like one thing, and I don't know if this is they're going to talk about this, but when you have a room of this many content creators in there, I think they should talk about stuff like this. I think someone should bring up, hey, I'll be honest. If I was in the room, I would say I think we should have kind of a code of conduct, right? I know you're all laughing. Ziggy, code of conduct. I do. I think you should have a code of conduct of things you should and shouldn't do and things you should and shouldn't support. Because we're competitors and there are some cooperators in the room or whatever. But I do think, like, for example, if someone saw a scam going on, if someone saw somebody who was making a video channel that was how to make fake PSA slabs, right, and make fake cards, if that existed, let me stop this right now and go back over here and see if I got any comments. Okay. So someone had a channel on YouTube said how to make fake slabs, how to make fake freaking cards. Would you call them out? Wouldn't you? I mean, I hope you would. There's some of these bigger channels that I would like for them to take a more active role in that and call some people out. Okay, call them out. Okay, here's my invite if anyone wants to join. Let me sketch up early while I'm getting my thoughts together. Oh, Ziggy, I think you're Walter Cronkite of hobby. My first thought is, do you know how few people know who the hell Walter Cronkite is? And Walter would just report the news. Let's be honest. Walter is a true newsman and would not be as opinionated as I am. Walter would not show the emotion. Freaking loved Walter Cronkite. At least the clips I saw of him on the what's it called? Nick at Night. Yeah, that's what it was. Nick at Night. Thank you for watching, man. I do appreciate that. That was very funny. Ziggy watches all videos at 2x speed. His brain is like Zach. Oh my goodness. It's somewhat true. It's somewhat true. I do watch everything in 2x, and I'll watch multiple videos, by the way. And what I do is that way I can listen to them when something comes up that's important. I do stop and listen and rewind it and pay attention. So don't get me wrong. But what it allows me to do is I do respect everybody's hustle. So I want to give them a view from the top to the beginning. I want to listen to stuff they say at the end. Sometimes they drop stuff at the end that people don't pay attention to. I also think they deserve a full listen or the full run through. I mean, I know as a content creator, you'll see if you start creating YouTube content, you'll see that most people watch the first few minutes and they just disappear at the end. Their attention spans are gone. We're like gnats. We can't spend much attention. I don't care. You can put nudity at the end of the channel. They won't watch unless a few of them do. But you're right. I do watch it on high speed. Any second year Bagley's. Oh my goodness. That's another great one. See right there. I remember last year when that was going on, the second year cards and people were buying, first year New Jersey. I remember, I'm pretty sure, I'll check my videos. You'll see them as you come up, calling that out, saying, let's not do this. Please not do this. Please don't do this. I still would say that. And again, not enough people did, right? I have to go back and look. I know some major YouTube channels. Oh, we got somebody joining the room tonight. So give me a second. We got to guess who's joining. I'll give him a moment to get set up. But I don't remember people calling that out. Thank you too, man. This is really awesome. I'm super excited. Cheers. Thank you. Integrity Farms. I love your name. I love your content too, or your comments, and I love seeing you in contents, dude. You're a great guy. I appreciate that. And then last comment I get to, you're going to see a big shift soon. I'm afraid you are. I'm afraid you are. And I'll tell you, I think we're missing a window of opportunity. We could make things better. If that makes sense. I'm going to go ahead, guys, invite Boom.
Hey, how's it going?
Boy, what's up, man? Cheers.
Cheers. I wish I had a drink. I have a water bottle if that works.
Okay.
I'm just here in quarantine.
You're an athlete. Now, are you in the United States right now?
No, I'm in a hotel in the Philippines, actually, because you have to do 10 days before you go in. So
thank you very much for joining. Everybody, if you guys don't know Troy is a professional basketball player in the Philippines, played college basketball at Wake Forest, friends with John Collins, who's in the playoffs, has a phenomenal channel on YouTube with sports cards. I remember you breaking in with soccer knowledge and basketball knowledge, and you've really kind of gotten a lot of other things. You've had some amazing content, man. I'm a big fan of your show. Big fan. I'll let you go ahead and say a little bit more. But you can see I know who you are. I know Troy.
That was a glowing intro. I'm not sure I deserve that. I don't mean to, I just wanted to come in. I think just to talk about the responsibilities of content creators is like a really interesting one we need to have now. Like I had something say kind of negative about something I said. I recommended a young soccer prospect, and I used the words can't go wrong. And I was like, you know what? Like in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have said that. But at the time I was like, listen, man, I had, 200 subscribers. I wasn't really, to be honest, I wasn't thinking about like are people, I wasn't thinking people are actually listening to me. And now like you see, like we were talking about repacks, ads, card ladder, market movers, there's a lot of money. And then like, as a result of that, there's like a real responsibility. Like I'm sure you remember even a year ago, sports card content was like the wild, wild west, right? It wasn't organized. Now it's organized, and like people need to take bigger responsibility.
You're absolutely right. And I will say, one thing I will say is I try to be understanding everybody. I mean, I was very critical last year of some channels, but I bit my tongue a lot, right? And I also agree, a lot of us learn through time. None of us are hyping cards. I mean, even people who are hyping cards, that wasn't their intention to hype a card. But we have to be aware that a lot of people are watching. So I think it's great to see channels who have matured and express that. And we all are trying. I listen to you say it all the time. Hey, look, I'm not giving professional advice. I'm just giving my opinion. And that's what people want. They want the open opinion. They want to know what's going on. So I respect that. I think that when you look at something like repacking, it's not, in my opinion, it's something that you're going to see more of right now because it's an easy way to just dump cards, right? And it just bothers me because I think it's terrible. And there's a long history there too. I won't get into that. I got somebody else who's joining. Oh, it's House of Cards joining, dude. So Troy, how are things going on for you in your life? How is sports cards, and are you active right now as you're doing all this stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I was really active for the last month because I came back because of COVID.
Yep.
So I went to the Dallas Card Show. I was doing a lot of cool content. I visited Alt. I did that video that I think a good amount of people saw where I looked at their LeBron and Giannis that are worth millions. So yeah, this past month I was really active. It's an interesting time though. Like I think everyone's talked about the Dallas Card Show, a little bit of feeling of uneasiness and stuff.
Yep.
So it's an interesting time, but I'm having fun with it. The channel's growing and I'm still enjoying the hobby for sure.
You know, it's funny. I was watching guys, and I lost House of Cards. If you come back, please do. Please come back. I was watching some guys talk about that. They said there was more people approaching to sell at Dallas than they've ever seen at any show, and how to a lot of the old school dealers, it's like a disrespect, right? And it's kind of and I have to agree with that. Like I'll say from somebody myself, I've gone to shows my whole life. I've never went to a show to sell cards because first of all, I just knew you're not going to get a good deal from a guy buying a card show, right? It just never was going to happen. Because if he was, he's going to make more money. But that's definitely become a norm. And I've gone with friends who do not necessarily sell, but they'll make money at the show. And I've always kind of wondered, what people feel about it. But if you watch some of the older dealers talk about it, a lot of them are like, what are you doing here? Like, why don't you get a booth then? Pick up a booth and sell. So I'm wondering if we're going to see how things I think the National will be interesting because the National is the National and you have a lot of old dealers that will be there. I also heard there was a lot of the older dealers who were criticizing all of the camera people that were there, right? That it wasn't just you, it's like you and 15 people in the camera team, not you specifically, but you know what I'm saying? I hear there's a lot of camera people. So I'll tell you, man, I'll tell you right now, I'm going to break news right now here, guys. If I make it to the National, I'm going to get a super hot camera girl.
That's what you got to do.
Just to get attention. And she's going to wear Ziggy No t-shirts, and she's going to carry my camera around. And you guys are all going to pay attention to my camera girl. That is going to be that's how I'm going to be different at the National. And I encourage everybody else, if you're going to bring a camera person, well, I'll just leave it at that.
I think it's tough though, because it's like, I see two extremes in the hobby. Like for me, it's like, there's the young people where I'm probably more on that side and, the flipping mentality and shoving a camera in a dealer's face. It's like, yeah, I get it. It's annoying. And like that stuff needs to go. But also on the other side, I see people who are I want the market to crash and you guys are all so stupid. Whoever invested the old guard versus the new guard. It's like both extremes have their flaws, like to me. So I get it, but I agree with you with the cameras. I'm like, I can see, especially for these people who aren't used to it. Like I would always be like, hey, I'm so sorry. Like I want to make sure you're good with this or whatever. Cause it's tough. It's new. And these people don't necessarily want themselves on that,
Well, they all appreciate the business side of it, right? But you're absolutely right. I've seen enough. Listen to some channels who said they want to see pain in the market. Yeah, they want to see people sell. And that's funny. I love the hobby. I really do. I want to see change. I want to see us to use this opportunity, this time to make changes and correct things. We can make this better. We also have to, again, if we're really here for a long time or not, right? I will also say this too. There's a lot of channels that you've seen that have come and gone. I don't fault them. I think that's very typical of everybody's life experience in the hobby. Most of us spend a year or two in the hobby in our life, and then it's re-sparked down the road. There's nothing wrong with that, right? That's just the kind of nature of the beast. I'm going to join. I like the House of Cards. Join here real quickly before we lose them again.
Oh,
what's up there, sir?
What's up, Ziggy?
How are you doing, man? Thank you for joining. It's great to have you on camera. Can you tell us a little about yourself? Let me introduce everybody to House of Cards. So I will tell you, I've been following House of Cards for a while. I think since he almost started. One of the things that I loved about him is he just does a great breakdown of everything from, I think, an analytical perspective and a realistic perspective. He's got a background in, if I'm not mistaken, in marketing and magazine, if I'm not mistaken, House of Cards, and really broke ground for me in the NFT space. Like I didn't understand NFTs until I watched his channel. So with that being said, go ahead and introduce yourself, sir. Thank you for being here tonight, man. And should I call you House of Cards? I forget your real name.
My real name is James, and that's totally fine. I'm doing the whole hand on the desk thing to stay on brand with my channel. So
I love it. I love it.
You know, not that I'm scared to be on camera or anything like that. I just, it feels more natural in this environment to be in this viewpoint. But yeah, man, I started collecting when I was a kid. I was actually worked at a baseball card shop when I was like 12 years old. And I spent, pretty much all my time doing baseball cards for years and years and years, like I think most people around my age did back in the 90s. And just kind of grew up with it. Obviously, like everyone else, took a break, came back probably about 2 years ago, maybe about 2.5 years ago. I started bugging all my friends to look at their sports cards collections to see if there's anything of value in them. So a lot of people just handed me their giant boxes and binders and everything. And I just spent probably like 6 months just kind of plowing through people's cards and helping them figure out what they're worth. And then it just kind of triggered me to be like, hey, I should just like jump back in full because I really enjoyed doing this. And of course, the nostalgia and all that stuff. That's pretty much it. And I started the channel, I think last October. Just kind of wanted to document this whole thing. Really, it wasn't really to like become an influencer or do anything like that, but it kind of served two purposes. I started doing the Monday mailbags about 6 months ago because I was really into like, obviously getting a lot of orders in from eBay like everyone else does. But I noticed that a lot of people are having problems with like people, scamming them and trying to do like things. So the very first like high-end card I bought was a Ken Griffey Jr. 89 Topps Tiffany. And I bought it for like raw for like $500. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like.
Ooh.
Did I lose your sound?
I think we lost the sound.
James, you lost your sound. Hold pause a second to hold the story for us because I want to hear the end of this. That's the mic.
Uh-oh, he's still going.
That's okay. It takes a second or two, and I understand that, man. That's one of the challenges here on the YouTube. I will say it's interesting his comment there because let me just point out he's had an influence, and this is my point. Whether you have 50 people or thousands of people following you, he had an influence on my channel, had an influence on me, right? And then I have an influence on others, and that's the thing I think is awesome about the hobby, but also something we need to be responsible about and also look at from different perspectives. I think we lost him for a minute. Again, big fan of his channel. If you haven't already, check him out. And great background, too. I forget, he worked for some magazine company. He sold the magazine. Flipping Steve's in the house, too. Let me let Flipping Steve on. Troy, what are your thoughts on the fake stuff that's going on around there? The fake Peyton Manning autograph that hit Golden. There's the, HGA got hit by a couple of fake autographs. There's going to be more of that, too.
Yeah, I mean, it's – well, I'll let Steve come in. How's it going?
Hey, what's up,
Steve? Thanks for joining, man. I was just throwing up the topic of some of the fake autographs that are going on around the hobby as well.
Oh yeah, the one that got through HGA, the Tom Brady, and
yep,
and the fake PSA slabs, the Lucas slabs. I saw that one too.
And then that Golden auction apparently had an auction up for a Peyton Manning today that they took down, that they saw and took down. And I see this comment right here quickly about, anyone who takes content. This thing here, let me just start this. My son was watching YouTube last year, and he was taking advice from content creators. And that's what got me involved in it. So, and it wasn't like he was taking terrible advice, but he was listening to guys going, Dad, I should buy this guy. I'm like, well, why would you buy that guy? Hold on a second, right? So my point is there are a lot of people who do listen. And what you have to remember is those are the most delicate people sometimes, the ones we want to be here for a long time, will listen. And if they get burned, they're going to leave. Like, I feel like, for example, Top Shot, there's a lot of people who are bitter about Top Shot and have left Top Shot. I'm actually really enjoying Top Shot right now. Quietly, I'm enjoying it as somebody who buys a few $1, $2, $3 moments, opens a pack every week now because you can get packs. So to me, it's actually kind of fun. I've actually been spending more time in Top Shot than cards because I can get a pack every week right now. I don't know if you guys care about that at all, but of course, I'm not doing Top Shot at all for money. Like, I don't expect it to make money at all for me right now.
Yeah, I mean, Top Shot, I've definitely seen it's went down a lot. I mean, I literally had friends who weren't even like from the sports card world, and some of them quit their jobs to do Top Shot. Like that's how well they were doing at some point. So it's been crazy to see what's happened since then.
Troy, I got a question here, and I'm just reading this. Hope it's a nice one. I like your content. What % of your collection is soccer? Interesting that your hoops players might collect more soccer than hoops cards, but to each their own. Oh, that hoops players collect soccer.
Yeah, my collection is probably it might even be 70% soccer right now. Just because, I mean, part of it is just because like I enjoy soccer a lot. I think it's something to do with like if something is your day job in a sense, it's almost like you're looking for that escape. And I just, I just enjoy it. I guess I don't have an exact reason for it, but something about soccer card collecting, it's new and exciting, and it challenges me to learn every day. So yeah, I've just been enjoying it. And also like, I don't know, once again, the collecting aspect is definitely there for me. Like I picked up Tracy McGrady, Tim Duncan, those are my guys, but the basketball card market just for a while now. Like once I saw, do you know what it was? It was when Garland and Rui Hachimura base prisms were like $250. I said, all right, something is up here. I'm going to go, I'm going to relax with basketball because it's just overinflated is what it was, honestly, especially with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it is sad. It's crazy. I was even looking at, I'm guilty of grading those cards as well, by the way, so we've all fallen victim to that.
Hey, we've all done it.
I was watching a sports card investigator say today, I'm not going to grade any more base. And I'm thinking they're going, I think he's right. I think I'm going to stop grading base rookie cards. I'm going to be an example.
Yeah. And I was just going to interject real quick. Sorry, last thing. I'm talking too much. The only thing that really bothers me is when I saw, or not bothers me, people should grade what they want, but like people were grading like Trae Young, optic inserts, these type of things, which are fine. You know what I mean? There was money to be made, but I guess I just saw like there was just so much stuff getting graded, and it's like, man, like no wonder PSA is backlogged. And I'm not mad at the actual person, but it was just crazy. Basically anything was getting graded, and I think that's going to change, like you've been saying.
Well, one thing that bothered me was you'd see people grade it and then call it a low pop count, right? So it's an insert, an optic insert, and you're like, of course it's a low pop count. No one's grading that card, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But then that also make more people, well, I'm gonna go grade it because some guy made $500 on it. So it adds to the fire. I don't know, and I understand. I understand. People were buying. Can you blame them for buying because they're making money? I don't know. There's a way you could have stopped it. I just think what we need to do is we need to manage it from here on. Like help people have fun in the hobby still. You know what I'm saying? You can still have a great time in the hobby. You don't have to make 10x or whatever. Steve, I've been talking too much. I'm letting you talk a little bit.
Yeah, no, like you guys said, it was like with most, it was the misconception that a slab made a card rare. Which it does with the older stuff, the stuff that's really hard to grade. It does add a level of rarity to that type of stuff. But, with the massive print runs and stuff being easier to grade and stuff being expected to grade these days, the older cards, even during junk wax era, you had different technologies making the cards. So you can use a slab to add a level of rarity to it, like a Shaq rookie card or something like that. But to add a level of rarity, it's like you said, like a base prism Darius Garland, it's just not there because too many of them are going to grade out well. And so you get a false sense of, this card is rare. It doesn't have to be serial numbered. It's got a slab on it. I'm going to get a 10X on it. And, but the value was there for flippers from a flipping aspect because people were buying into the slab. People were pretty much buying the grade. They weren't necessarily buying the card. For a while, a lot of people capitalized on it, and the market as a whole, not as an entirety, there's still people out there, but as a majority has wisened up to it. That's why you're seeing all these cards pretty much tank, for lack of a better term, just because, reality has set in that these cards aren't really what they thought that they were.
It's going to be interesting. One of the things that really bothers me, again, I believe most problems in the hobby go back to the lack of competition, right? The reason that we are grading cards is why? Because the condition of cards being made is often garbage, right? It's not centered, it's not cornered, the autographs are smudged because the manufacturers don't care. Mm-hmm. So we use grading companies to do that. What else do we use grading companies for? We use grading companies to determine pop counts and print runs because the manufacturers don't disclose them, right? If we had competition, you'd have disclosure of print runs. It just sickens me how these manufacturers get away with that. And we continue. Like, if you look at this industry, I was talking to another friend of mine. Like, I really believe, sadly to say this, we're begging for regulation, right? Like, we're begging for the government to really get involved. We already know they're going to be tracking taxes a lot more. They're not foolish about what's going on that. But when they start looking at the fraud and the manipulation in this, companies like, I just think Panini's the worst abuser of this. Look at the Zebra Select card. That used to be unique, very rare last year. This year, It's every retail product. How do you think that deteriorates the value of past products, zebras? You think a collector 5 years from now is going to know, hey, zebras were really rare in 2017. It wasn't until 2020 they watered them down. Most
Right.
new collectors won't know the difference. You know what I'm saying? And we just continue to propagate this illusion because I go back to lack of competition. I wish there was more competition, and I don't know why that hasn't changed or won't change in the hobby.
And the only people that will know will be the people that were around or the hardcore collectors. You know, if they're looking for said player, they're going to know, okay, their 2015 print run is a lot more rare than their 2020 print run.
Yeah.
You know, and again, you know, a card, we talk about it being investing and things like that, but card collecting and the hobby as a whole is where the root of it, you know, is. You know, I've always said that even when the investors and flippers leave and move on to the next trend, the collectors will still be behind. So I believe it's always been the cards that are going to have some kind of collectability to it, whether it's rarity, scarcity, aesthetics, something that appeals to a collector as opposed to an investor. You know, a collector can only own so many base cards of their favorite player. You know, a collector wants like one, you know, as many cards of their favorite players they can get, but they don't necessarily want duplicates. So if you buy yourself a base rookie card of somebody, okay, that's in my collection now. I don't need 10 of them because I'm a collector. I'm not buying these to flip. So, you know, you always had that, like with myself, I always had a big part of my portfolio that I was like, okay, these cards aren't as liquid, but they will be solid investments for me in the future because they have a scarcity and a rarity and a collectability to them. Maybe not to me per se, because I may not collect said player, but someone out there wants this card. And, you know, it may take me finding the right buyer to buy it. It's going to be a little less liquid, but in the end, I'm going to be glad that I'm holding this card as opposed to a base card.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I love selling cards into the collectors, but when I do that, I never sell at the maximum value. And what I mean by that, like I've been in Facebook for probably 5 years, where I used to be a big time break person in breaks, and I get some great cards. But if I found somebody who truly was collecting and he really was his PC card, I would sell it to him at the fairest price I could, because I knew the card wasn't good. And I would even say to him, if I see you selling this card, man, I'm not selling you other cards in the future. But there's a few guys I can tell you that I sold. Like I had the 1-of-1, all the quarterbacks from 2017 playbook, the book that opened up. That was the black 1-of-1. I had it graded, came back a BGS 9. And one of the guys that I got it from through some Raz, it was his, and he talked about some story, him and his kid. I'm like, dude, I'll sell it back. And I sold it back to him for like half the value because I knew it was going to a collector. And another guy was a guy who collects the Chiefs, who I'm still friends with this guy. I had a 1-of-1 Kelsey rookie autograph Nike swoosh from Immaculate, and I posted it, and a lot of people offered me money, but I knew he was a collector. I sold him for a fair price. So it's funny. For me, that's one thing I love about the hobby. I still make money, right? Because I still want, to me, the hobby, the money I make in the hobby feeds my addiction in the hobby, right?
Right.
It's not anything else for me at this point. And I love the stories when you can help a real collector find it, because like you said, Steve, those are the people who appreciate this stuff. Those are the people, they are the grassroots of the hobby. If the collectors were to stop collecting, if they decide that National Treasures is trash tomorrow, man, that product, it won't crash right away, but it's not going to be good. So I love, you're right. I love finding the collector. Let me look at some comments here real quickly.
Real quick to touch on that. I understand that where you're coming from, selling to a collector for something that's for someone's PC, letting them get a deal on it. But you also have to be careful. I actually had vendors in Dallas wanting to buy some of my cards, and not all of them, but I had on 2 separate occasions where the vendor was telling me that this card was for their PC, as if they were trying to get me to give them a better price. I mean, one of them was just a Peyton Manning rookie card. It was the 98. It was the EX. And, the EX cards are getting really popular because the basketball ones got really popular. So the guy was like, I don't have this one in my Peyton Manning collection, but this is a vendor wanting to buy off me. And do I look at this as if, okay, this vendor's really wants this for his PC, or is this vendor going to put this in his showcase tomorrow or when I walk away? So
I agree with you there. That would bother me. And again, what I'll say is I listened to Rich Klein, and he made a comment. If you know who Rich Klein is, a very, very seasoned dealer in the hobby. And he was on Go GTS, and he says, look, if you're a true dealer in this hobby, you don't have a PC. Okay, you're a dealer. You get a card, you sell a card for a profit. He goes, he mentioned the cards he PCs are like nobodies. They have no value. And I agree with that. I really do. And so again, if a dealer's going to tell me he's got a PC, to me, when I hear, and I don't mean this the wrong way, but as an older guy in the hobby, when a guy tells me it's his PC, that means it's a card he lost money on and he's not willing to sell yet.
It's funny too. I just want to touch on the Dallas thing real quick too, because that was one of my first real big card shows. And I was seeing these kids, and it was like, if a card is worth $200, they would just negotiate someone down to $175 and then go over to someone else and sell it for $225 just the whole day, back and forth, back and forth. And I was like, man, I am not like, I mean, hey, do whatever you want. I hardly ever criticize like however someone wants to enjoy the hobby. Well, not enjoy the hobby in that case, but whatever. But I was like, man, I'm not built like that. Like I can't, it just makes me uncomfortable. Quite honestly, I was like, if the card is worth 200, like, I'll give the guy a fair price. That's just how I like to do it. But it was just funny. The flipping within 5 minutes, 10 minutes at Dallas was insane.
Yeah, for sure. People weren't even holding cards longer than 10 minutes. They were literally flipping them from table A to table D. Maybe not table A to B, but this table, they go a couple tables down where this guy didn't see him, and they were flipping it. He completely right. I saw the same stuff going on the whole show.
That blows my mind because, again, when I think of the hobby, I'll be honest. If I know you're looking for a card, I'm not going to buy it and sell it to you for more. I'm going to come show you where it is and how to get it for the best. And one that bothered me was you did see the video. I'm going to say it right now, where DAP Sports buys the card for $10,000 from his friend, goes over and sells it to Jeff for $1,000 more, and talks about that's the hustle. And I'm sitting there going, I understand, dude, but you're not somebody I'd want to deal with you in the future. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather you put me in touch with the guy and say, look, I got the guys buying, I got the guys selling, be the middleman. And then if I want to tip you or let me do that. And also I'm going to do business with you in the future. That way, if you help me, I don't know, that just rubbed me wrong. I was like, wow. And he was so proud about that. I'm wondering what Jeff's thoughts are on that. I mean, Jeff wasn't oblivious to it. He knew it was going on, right?
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's also a case, especially in Dallas, where someone's trying to flip themselves up to a bigger card, especially if they can't afford it. And their end game could be a PC card that they can't afford. And they're going to flip whatever cards that they can get their hands on that they don't care about. If they can spin, a $50 profit here up to $100, $75 profit, and it's just snowballs up to where they finally get to their end game card. And, that's, the trading a lot of it was trade value. You didn't see a lot of buying it and then selling it for more, but they were getting trade value on it and trading it for something bigger. And then, but if the end game is to getting to a PC card, then, I think it's a good, just a good crafty dealing way, because if you take the dealing out of the hobby, to me,
I'm not saying take the dealing.
To me, the adrenaline rush of trying to make a good deal is one of my biggest highlights. Even when the deal falls through, just the negotiating and things like that, I have a blast with.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not against the dealing. I love the dealing, right? In fact, I've never set up at a show. I kind of want to, but I'd only have to set up once because I'd sell out. I'm like, if you came up and offered me money, I'm gonna look at the comp and go, sounds good to me. Give me some money. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, no, man, I'm not taking that. I would sell out immediately. I don't know. To me, the money's more fun used to buy more stuff that's new, and I'm not into it for a lot, I guess, in the beginning. So I don't know, I guess it's different.
Ziggy,
Mike,
how many
welcome
shows?
To the show, man. I want to welcome Michael Ham, by the way, real quickly. Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, how many shows have you been to recently?
That I've attended. I've been to the Chantilly show both times, so in October, and then I went to a tabletop show recently. So 3 shows since in the last year for COVID.
All right, I think the biggest thing that I hear from you is, me having personal friends now that I've met through actually the Target, Walmart retail stuff, and one of the gentlemen opening up a card show, and their entire living since this really kicked off in early 2019 has been selling cards, and then getting their aspect and understanding of making a living out of it, and how you're flipping things and buying things, and you're always going to these different people just because you have somebody that may target a card more than somebody else, so you know who to go to, especially when it's another dealer, because they kind of have like a little special feeling about certain players or teams, and they tend to buy that at a higher price. These guys all know that collectively as a group, and a lot of times, they'll buy from table A, go over to table D, and sell for more, knowing that that guy would have been interested in it if he saw it first. But they're not going to tell him that. They're going to be like, I can make a little money right now. let me go do this. And this is kind of like their hustle and their game. And it's unfortunate, but that's the way the hobby's become. And that's where a lot of, channels have gotten popular. It's about flipping. It's about making money. Nobody says I don't want to take as much as possible usually. And very few people have your mentality, Ziggy. It's always about make as much as you can to get on to making as much as you can the next time. And just kind of roll it over. The difference, like with me, I'm a collector more than I am ever trying to flip. I hardly ever sell anything, to be honest with you. But, I hold on to stuff because I see the long-term value. But I'm not trying to make money right now. But if I had to, I could easily just turn things over. But I choose not to. But that's the mentality that I have. But I never stopped collecting. I didn't jump back in 2018, 2019. When we see a card value with all these card value apps and stuff like that, that show the data basically tracking a card from day to day. We used to get Tough Stuff or Beckett once a month. We didn't see a daily transaction value, let alone things didn't move as fast because we didn't have the internet and accessibility to everybody. It was always word of mouth. And even with grading, people didn't overly care about how good the card was. It was just about having that card. And just everything's changed. And I know you being an older person into the hobby here, your mentality is completely different. And it's harder for the newer wave to make it understandable for you in their sense, I guess. Because most of these people are not going to be in the hobby in 5 years.
No, you're right. And I'll say this. I think it goes back to what I said before. If it is your living, and I'm not against that, right? I have a lot of friends who it is their living. You justify things differently. Because you're right. If it's your living and you got to make so much money to pay your rent, and you go to a show and you got to hustle to make $1,000 whatever, that's it. You're right. I do look at it as like a hobby to me, completely as a hobby. I really enjoy that aspect. And I guess what I want to do is just help people. So I shouldn't be as judgmental. In fact, I see a comment down here about Daps. I don't blame Daps at all or Jeff. It's just the way I saw it. I thought the way I looked at it was, let's be sure to explain to everybody, it's not that easy every day to find somebody who's looking for a $10,000 card that's willing to pay $11,000 for it. That's also something I think was tricky, right? I mean, but no, you make some great points. I don't want to sound too judgmental.
And honestly, as a collector and a investor flipper, I do everything. But the cards that are most valuable to me are the cards that you just don't find all the time. And I don't mean by rarity, by print run. I just mean like, I was given a Soundgarden card at the show. That was that happened on Thursday. Like almost as soon as I got there, a viewer tracked me down and give it to me as a gift. And there was not much the whole rest of the weekend that could top that moment. That was like that card. I've bought like at least 14 of those raw to try to get graded because they're only like $1 a card. There's not a whole lot of value there. And to a majority of the people out there, that card doesn't mean anything. But not only the fact that I have that card now, but that it came from a viewer that had the, that thought that much of me to do that for me still blows my mind. I can't think of why anybody would do that because I'm just a regular guy in the hobby, but I guess that's the camaraderie within the hobby. That's why we love the hobby as a community, even when we have our disagreements. And back to the whole flipping thing. I mean, from table to table, you could even broaden it if you're going to do a small show circuit, for lack, I guess, if that's what you want to call it, because I'll be attending the Philly show in June. So when I'm in Dallas, I'm thinking ahead of, what am I going to look for here in Dallas? What's going to be cheap in Dallas that I can pawn off in Philly? Okay, Daniel Jones and Jalen Hurts, right? I can buy them cheap in Dallas because everybody wants Dak Prescott here.
Yeah.
Okay, and I can pick up these cheap Daniel Jones and Jalen Hurts cards, and I can take them to Philly, where all the New York and New Jersey and Philadelphia fans are at, and I can get a 25% increase or return on just these pickups here, whether it's raw cards that people can put in their showcases and their stores to sell off very liquid to the kids or whatever it is. And on the other end of the spectrum, I'm not buying Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott cards in Dallas. Even Luka, you just can't. The market's too big there. So sometimes I look ahead if I'm going to do one show to the next. A lot of the stuff that I'm going to pick up in Philly is stuff that I think that I might be able to move at the National. and they're cards that I want to move in person. They're not necessarily what you would call eBay cards because it takes the right set of eyes or the right person that you have to sell them off to. You just can't put them on eBay and run an auction because if the right set of eyes doesn't see it, you're going to lose money. But if you find the right collector, the Tom Brady card, for example, if you saw my video, the Tom Brady white mosaic out of 25 that I picked up, that's not a card that I personally may believe is worth $2,500 that the guy had it stickered at. The reason I picked that up, though, is because I believe that is someone out there that believes it's worth probably $4K, so even though I think, hey, $2,500 is a lot to ask for that card, I personally may not want it for that much, but there's somebody out there that will. So that was strictly an investment opportunity to me to get a card that a collector will target, a collector with deep pockets, whether I show up at a Tampa show or something like that, and I have a Brady Bucks card numbered out of 25 and a gem in 10, so it's like that, but that's not ever anything I would really put on eBay unless I put a huge buy it now on it and, got an impulse buy or just to get some feelers on it.
Yeah, no, that makes great sense. I mean, I think that's a great strategy. Another great strategy is college markets, right? Taking Ohio State products to the Cleveland area, right? Take Gators and Florida, Seminole stuff down to Florida. In some of those college communities, man, they are very passionate about the relics, the patches and stuff. Outside those markets, it's very risky though, right?
Yeah.
But
and it can even be low end. Like you can search dollar boxes at one show and buy tons and tons of $2 and $3 cards and probably take them somewhere where they're a fan favorite and sell them for $5 to $6 a card, because you can sell them to people who own stores within those cities and they're going to put them in their stores because they know they have people come in every day asking for those players. Like in my area, it's the Ravens and the Orioles and the Nationals. I'm in the DC area, so it's like
I had a friend who used to buy a lot of UNC stuff from me because we had a bunch of UNC cards and I think a lot of college cards. When we first started in the hobby, we were just buying everything. We weren't paying attention. We learned. But I had a friend who's like, well, if you have college cards, and he was down in Raleigh, he would buy the college cards because there's a lot of college towns in Raleigh they could sell the college cards for. So, Steve, you are going to Philly. You are going to the National, or you're waiting to decide on the National? And Troy, are you going to the National, or are you not going to be back in the States by then?
I'm not going to be in the States, unfortunately. Probably not until like December. So it's going to be a while for a card show for me.
Wow, man. Wow. Anything we can send you out there? Do you need any care packages in the Philippines?
Anything you can send me. Well, you were talking about college cards. If you guys see any cool Wake Forest stuff, I'm always looking out. Like we had a couple guys.
We can send a couple blasters. We can get some blasters to you if you need a blaster to break over there,
Yeah. I mean, I did bring some. I brought some actually. I was like all prepared. I wanted like my girlfriend to be able to open some, so I'm good on blasters.
Awesome. Man.
Appreciate it.
I'll keep an eye out for Wake Forest cards for you then.
Appreciate it.
Now, are you a Chris Paul fan?
I am. I'm a huge Chris Paul and Tim Duncan. Like not even because of Wake. Like I didn't grow up a Wake fan. It was literally like for some reason I just gravitated towards those players. So it's funny how it works out, even though it's just completely random.
Yeah, I'm a big ACC fan, so mad respect for playing at Wake Forest, man. And congrats on your career there too. It's really exciting.
Appreciate it.
Michael, are you going to National? Are you going to try to make it up there, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to try to do it. I'm going to talk to a few guys here. We may get a place all together and go up there.
Okay.
I'm going to see if I can drag Boris and Andy and a few of the other guys here in Tampa and just get something big. One of the main
Let me know what you guys do, man.
No, I want to go up there. I've never been to one. I'd literally be going for an experience, honestly, not to try and track anything down because I'm assuming everything's going to be at the highest price it can possibly be at a show like that, where it's basically, to me, it's like throwing blood in the water and then everybody's a piranha. And even with big numbered cards.
I'll tell you what I liked about it. So I went back, I think 2016. I liked the VIP parties, okay, which are very hard to get, but even the VIP parties will spawn other parties. Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of just free promo stuff, and that normally comes from manufacturers like Topps, Upper Deck, Panini. They did a lot of giveaways. They had a lot of contests. I think back at GSA, that stuff was cool. The dealer stuff to me was kind of boring, to be honest. I didn't go there to buy. I didn't go there to sell. There were, at the time when I went to, breaking was really cool. So you could also get in breaks, and then you could get on camera on breaks while they were doing the breaks. That was really fun. My kids enjoyed that. And the autographs parts was really cool. I know for me that I think the Thursday I've got a hard work date on Thursday, so I'm gonna probably try to come up on Friday, either night or Saturday. But I'm gonna drive up, and I think I'm gonna try to hit a couple card stores on the way up too as well. But I am gonna go to National. I am gonna get my camera woman, and I will be there, man.
Yeah, my goal would be to go to that, and then the following week is the world's largest fishing show here in Orlando. So I want to try and make that. So I might have a very busy 7 straight days of entertainment for myself, and then get some content, obviously. What's going to be different this year at the Nationals, I'm curious to what they're going to do with basically the YouTube group of people, because it's bigger now than it ever has been. And it was usually just breakers, that they gave spotlights to. So I'm assuming we're going to go there, and Brad and Dustin and Steve here are going to have a table signing autographs. And, with the meet and greet where you have to take a ticket in order to get in line, and only so many people can meet them. I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to offer something. Just them offering the thing with Mr. Beckett at this last show is just an insight to what's happening. Now, what are these bigger companies going to do to grab a hold of that too? Because that, at the same time, that's, a way of advertising for them too.
Well,
no matter what.
You are hitting on some great points. So first of all, the Beckett thing, Dr. Beckett organized, I think, by word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve, I really think you could have just walked in the door. I'm really surprised you weren't there. Someone should have had you there.
Well, the content creator thing through Beckett, it was there. And I was with Brad and Dustin, and Brad was getting ready to go in, and Dustin was like, dude, you can come with us through invite. And then kind of Dustin and I were just like, you know what? Let's go get a drink and watch the playoff basketball game.
Okay.
And that's what we went and did instead. It was we hit it off. Like we do live streams and we talk, but we never know how we're going to be in person. But like, luckily for the 4 of us that met up down there, it was like we had known each other forever. It seemed like there was no oddness or anything about it. Like, so when the show was over, for myself personally, and I didn't do a lot of filming inside the show and all that, I was really down and into the dealing and trying to cut some deals and sell, buy. I was doing everything. I sold some cards. I bought, I traded. I probably had more deals fall through than I actually pulled off. And that's what the cameras don't show you. They show you the successful deals. They don't show you the deals where you guys have your stuff out on the table and you're negotiating and you just can't find a happy, equal medium or whatever, and then you just back out of it. You don't see that happen on YouTube that much.
Yeah. Going back to the content creator thing, Michael, what I will say is that years ago, the Breakers ended up creating a Breaker-like conference, right? Yeah. And I think they ended up now getting tied into, I think it's the National Summit. So you're right. I do agree with you. And that's what I'm saying. I don't know what happened at the event. I'm listening to the podcast that Dr. Beckett's releasing. I heard that it was a positive event. I hope that some organization would come out of it. And I also wish those channels would reach out to other channels who weren't there, right? Like the Flipping Steve and to Troy and to yourself and say, hey, here's what we're working on. Or here at the next one, here's what's going to happen. I don't know, but I bet you're right. There'll probably be something at National. And I think it's an opportunity, again, for us to be a voice in many different ways, right? For the consumer, for the individuals, whatever it might be. We all have different points of view, but we all share a love for the hobby. So you're right.
Like I said in my last video, the content, and I don't want to say this because I don't want my followers or subscribers to feel slighted, but the YouTube thing is always secondary to me. It's always been more about the cards and the hobby. That stuff was first. The YouTube came second, and that's only because I was pushed into it by the Facebook group, and it turned into something I never thought it would turn into. And I'm happy where it's at. It's not like, oh man, I need to grow so big to where I'm making this full-time income and everybody knows who I am. That's not what I'm expecting. That's not what I'm looking to get out of my YouTube experience. I'm just letting it organically take me where it goes. And at the end of the card show day, being in the show all day and trying to do the things that I was doing, it's actually can be mentally draining trying to deal all day and do things like that. And I also wanted to enjoy myself. I didn't want to feel burned out and feel like, okay, I got to be here for this dinner and I got to be here for this content creator thing. And I got to be here because they want to do a live stream and I got to be here. So I got to cut my deal short. I can't go see the city, and things like that. When the show was over at the end of the day, I didn't hang out in the lobby with the hundreds of people trading,
Yeah.
and things like that. I went back to the room. I showered, I changed, and I went out and tried to find a friend to have a beer with and watch
That's
an
cool,
NBA
man.
playoff game. There was a little more to it than just the show and just talking about content. Dustin and I talked about life. It was more than just,
That's
hey, man,
awesome.
what are you going to buy tomorrow? What are you going to buy tomorrow? What do you think is a good investment? Are you editing videos in the lobby tonight? It was more or less, hey, have a beer. If we get drunk, we get drunk, and let's watch the Mavericks beat the Clippers. You know what I mean? That's
awesome. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I'll tell you this: that conversation you had will last your lifetime longer than these cards will.
yeah.
Right? And I think that's what we all know about this hobby is that it's those friendships, those relationships, those beers that you'll drink with a guy that you met with because of cards are going to last your lifetime more than the cards. So, Hey guys, we're coming up a little bit over the hour. I'm not going to labor and keep this running too long. It is a holiday weekend, so I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to look real quickly through the comments. I'm also really thank you all for joining because, like I said, this is an open mic night. I know you're all busy. I really appreciate you coming on camera with me and chit-chatting with me tonight. I was a little lit up earlier, and I love hearing from people. And again, I apologize. I'm so far back on the comments, so I'm not even going to go there. I don't see anything negative or anything pressing. If there's any questions out there, I'll leave it open for a few minutes. So if anybody's not watching, let me do a couple of plugs here. Flipping Steve, I know, is on live tomorrow night, Monday nights, right? 9:00.
Yeah, should be. That's
Always
the plan.
a great watch. Troy, how are you doing with content now that you're back in basketball and stuff? Anything coming up?
I'm good, actually. If anything, I'll have time on my hands because we're in like a closed circuit bubble. Basically, we're not supposed to leave our house at all. So I'll have more than enough time to make content. So it should be pretty good. People can look forward to that.
Real quick, I wanted to ask Troy
Awesome.
something because I've never got to chat with Troy, and I watch his videos, and
Please.
I've seen him on with Sunday League Investors, who I try to chat with those guys as well. Did you make the soccer trade night in Dallas?
I did. It was crazy to meet everyone there. Like it was all the soccer guys because I'd like to think we're a somewhat small community. It was a fun time.
And I was invited. Brandon Chung was like, "Come to the soccer trade show tonight." I mean, I was like, I love to.
Yeah.
I was excited about it. I was like, Instagram me because he said it was at a different hotel. I was like, Instagram me the time in the hotel, and he never did. And I was even messaging him from my hotel. I had went back early to get ready, and I was like, man, I'm going to head over there because I thought I might run into you and Sunday League Investors. So I wanted to run into because I submit cards through them as well. And
oh yeah, me too.
And I have and I had a lot of soccer stuff with me. And you find that the soccer community is more collector based and oriented, I believe, as the other sports. Baseball is also, but I believe the soccer community is more collector oriented. But I'm getting off track there. But I just wanted to say, did you call Chelsea winning Champions League, or did you think that was a Man City?
I definitely Man City. I think that's
so did I.
I
And I was asked that on the live stream last week, and I was like, "There's no way Chelsea beats Man City." And now tomorrow night, I'm probably going to hear it in the comments about that.
So is that good? Who's that good for with Chelsea winning? Who was on the Chelsea team?
Pulisic's on there, but he, the goal went to Havertz, so I'm sure that his cards, if the market's still overreacting like it is to certain things, because Havertz has kind of struggled this year for, as opposed to his expectations. He's still young, doesn't mean he's not going to develop. But
yeah, I'm sorry.
But he had the game-winning goal, and then Chelsea just kind of went defense mode all game. And
well, so the takeaway though is what we should probably do is maybe create some type of social media we can share contact information. So when you're at a show and you can't get in touch with Brandon Chung, you can get in touch with Troy. You can make sure you don't miss the next trade night, right? Because I know Brandon Chung's a good guy. I'm sure he didn't mean to do it. And then, guys, if you haven't already, please check out Michael Hamp's channel as well. Another great content creator, great information, great guy on the retail side. Does a lot of breaks with him and his daughter. And just, guys, again, everybody out there, thank you for watching tonight. Wow, 33 people watching. That blows my mind, man. I'm really excited. Thank you guys very, very much. And keep me real. When I get too out of hand, feel free to comment, call me, text me, tell me to chill. And again,
I'm going to line up a fishing trip. I'm going to hit a Tampa show, and then I'm going to hit Michael Ham up on a fishing trip.
Hey, you know what?
You let me know.
I'm going to try to come down for that CSG grading event in June, which is in Sarasota. And I might not.
I'm looking up more into that too, because I talked to somebody else about that too, and they're like, okay, I'd like to see what that's really about.
Michael, what you should do, even if you don't want to do the whole 2 days, reach out to them and go there as a YouTube creator and get some content from there. It'd be to their benefit to have you do it, dude. I'm just saying, I would love to.
I'll ask, but I guarantee they won't let you do it, especially if it's going to be something they're going to probably do paid. That's why I'm curious to go. I almost want to go in as an insider more than anything, just to see what they even divulge on top of that.
Because you have to apply. I applied online, and they're supposed to let you know by the 5th who's going. They sent me a notice and asked if I wanted to apply for the job. I don't want to say this if CSG's watching, guys. I don't want to waste a spot on somebody. I really would love to learn about grading.
That's the thing. That's the thing too. Is I know they're using this for a hiring thing for employees. So I don't want to go there and obviously not try to get a job. But I know somebody through a friend that already works there. So I might dig more into them than anything. But does anybody know? Is there an actual video that shows you how somebody grades a card, like an actual company?
Not that I've seen.
Does anybody have a video out there that shows you how to grade a card that has good success at sending something into grading? Because I haven't seen anything very good. No, but I haven't seen anybody say, this is what power, this is what it looks like through a microscope, this is what you're looking for. Nobody's done a video. I mean, that video could probably last forever.
Again,
but
I would love for a grader. I would love for a grader to come out and just tell us that. Tell us, what do they look for as a grader? That's what I'm saying. To me, it's like it's magic. And unless you're a magic wizard, no one knows what the hell goes on.
Well, my thing is somebody's had to have gotten fired at some point
and
want to talk about it. But it doesn't seem like anybody's out there.
And they're not paid enough that they're holding back on an NDA. We're like, well, dude, I'm going to get sued for twice my – come on.
Maybe they're paid more when they leave. I don't know. But it just seems like there's some hush money being paid somewhere because nobody talks about it. For as long as these companies have been around, nobody.
Maybe it's the mob. Maybe you don't leave grading. You die if you leave. Maybe you're allowed to leave. Maybe it's like a gang that beats you out and you can't leave. I don't know, man. I've never met a real grader.
I don't know either. Like I said, I know a couple people that have KK here over in Dunedin, and then my buddy Bryant, who's opening his own card shop up. They have almost a 70% 9 to 10 rate based on cards. They won't submit certain cards. They'll just tell you, if you want a 9 or a 10, this card will not qualify. So they have a really good eye of what's already needed to be out there, especially for modern. I know they grade vintage differently in certain companies, so there's a bigger learning curve. But I don't know how that really works. I don't know. Nobody's ever said it.
Me either. If anybody sees a video, please let us know. We'd love to see it, guys. I'm going to cut it off. I got to get the dogs outside. They're barking. Guys, thank you all very much. I'll be doing this again live next week, and I'll be live every Monday or every weekday morning as well, guys. Thank you all, and I wish you all the best. Really do. Stay healthy. Troy, thank you. Steve, thank you. Michael, thank you all very much, guys. Everybody watching, guys, thank you for being here.